There is something about the INFJ personality that people feel before they understand. It is not loud. It is not flashy. It is not attention-seeking. And yet, in many rooms, the INFJ is the person others instinctively lower their voice around. This reaction often confuses INFJs. They are not trying to intimidate anyone. In fact, most INFJs strive to be kind, thoughtful, and emotionally supportive. Yet people sometimes describe them as intense, hard to read, or even a little intimidating. So why do people fear INFJs? The answer is not about aggression or dominance. It is about depth. The INFJ personality operates on levels of perception and emotional awareness that many people are not used to encountering. And when someone feels seen too clearly, too quickly, it can be deeply unsettling. The INFJ stare and emotional X-ray vision. One of the most talked about INFJ traits in personality psychology is their gaze. Many people say INFJs have an intense, penetrating stare. This is not because they are trying to be intimidating. It happens because INFJs are almost always observing beneath the surface, driven by introverted intuition and supported by strong emotional intelligence. INFJs are constantly reading patterns in behavior, tone, body language, and emotional shifts. While others listen to words, INFJs listen to what is not being said. This creates a powerful effect. When an INFJ looks at someone, that person may feel unusually exposed. It can feel like the INFJ sees their insecurities, their contradictions, and even the feelings they are trying to hide. For people who are not comfortable with emotional transparency, this can trigger fear. Not because the INFJ is judging them, but because being understood without explanation can feel vulnerable. In many personality types explained through social dynamics, comfort comes from predictability. INFJs disrupt that comfort by perceiving emotional truth before it is spoken. The fear of being truly known. A core part of INFJ psychology is the drive to understand people at a deep level. INFJs are not satisfied with small talk for long. They naturally steer conversations toward meaning, purpose, struggles, and inner motivations. To someone who prefers to keep things light and surface level, this can feel overwhelming. INFJs may ask gentle but profound questions that others have never stopped to consider. They might notice inconsistencies between someone's words and their emotional tone. They may calmly reflect truths back to people that no one else has dared to say. This level of insight can feel like standing in bright light after hiding in the shade. Even when the INFJ's intention is compassion, the experience of being deeply seen can feel threatening. People often fear what reveals them to themselves. INFJs as human lie detectors. Another reason why people fear INFJs is their unusual ability to sense dishonesty. The INFJ personality, guided by introverted intuition, constantly tracks patterns over time. When someone's behavior, energy, or story does not align, INFJs feel it immediately. They may not always call it out, but they rarely ignore it internally. This makes INFJs difficult to manipulate. They sense hidden motives, subtle power plays, and emotional undercurrents that others miss. For people who rely on charm, image, or partial truths to get by, this can be uncomfortable. The INFJ may remain quiet, but their silence is observant, not naive. People who are used to controlling how others see them may feel uneasy around someone who quietly sees through the performance. This is not psychic ability. It is advanced pattern recognition mixed with deep empathy. Still, to those on the receiving end, it can feel almost supernatural. The quiet confidence of the INFJ personality. INFJs are often soft-spoken, but they carry a quiet certainty about their values. They may not argue loudly, but when something truly matters to them, they become unshakably firm. This surprises people. Because INFJs are usually accommodating and understanding, others sometimes assume they can be easily persuaded. But when an issue touches their core beliefs about fairness, integrity, or human dignity, INFJs do not bend easily. This shift from gentle to immovable can feel intimidating. It is not aggressive. It is calm, grounded conviction. And calm conviction can be more powerful than raised voices. People often fear those who cannot be easily pressured or emotionally manipulated. INFJs, once clear about their stance, are remarkably resistant to social pressure. Emotional depth in a surface-level world. We live in a fast-paced culture that rewards quick answers, light interactions, and constant stimulation. The INFJ personality moves at a different rhythm. They process slowly, feel deeply, and seek meaning in nearly everything. This depth can feel heavy to people who are used to keeping things casual. INFJs may sense emotional tension in a group that everyone else is ignoring. They may want to talk about long-term consequences when others just want immediate comfort. They may withdraw from environments that feel emotionally inauthentic. To some, this reads as seriousness or emotional intensity. And intensity, even when quiet, can make others uncomfortable. People sometimes fear INFJs not because they are dark, but because they are deep. Depth invites reflection. Reflection can bring up feelings people would rather avoid. The INFJ and the power of silence. Silence is another reason people fear INFJs. In many social settings, silence is awkward. People rush to fill it with chatter. INFJs, however, are often comfortable with quiet observation. When INFJs go silent, they are usually thinking, processing, or simply taking in the emotional atmosphere. But others may interpret that silence as judgment or disapproval. The truth is, INFJs are often just absorbing information. Still, their quiet presence can feel intense, as if something important is being noticed but not spoken. Silence has power. And INFJs know how to use it without trying. The INFJ door slam and emotional boundaries. One of the more extreme behaviors associated with INFJ personality traits is the INFJ door slam. This happens when an INFJ, after repeated emotional hurt or betrayal, suddenly and permanently cuts someone out of their life. To the person on the receiving end, this can feel shocking and severe. INFJs are usually patient and forgiving, so people may not realize how deeply they have been affected. When the door finally closes, it closes quietly but completely. This capacity for total emotional withdrawal can make people uneasy. It shows that beneath the kindness, the INFJ has firm limits. Once those limits are crossed too many times, the connection can end without drama but with finality. People fear losing access to someone who once understood them deeply. They also fear consequences they did not see coming. The mirror effect of the INFJ. INFJs often act as emotional mirrors. Their empathy and intuitive perception reflect people back to themselves. Strengths become clearer, but so do insecurities, avoidance patterns, and emotional wounds. Being around an INFJ can feel inspiring, but also confronting. You may feel encouraged to grow, to be more honest, to face truths you have been postponing. Growth is positive, but it is rarely comfortable. The INFJ's presence can quietly challenge people to evolve, and people sometimes fear those who awaken self-awareness. Not everyone is ready to look inward. INFJs naturally invite that inward look. Why the fear is often misunderstanding. Despite all this, INFJs are not trying to intimidate or unsettle anyone. Most INFJs simply want authentic connection, emotional honesty, and meaningful conversations. The fear surrounding the INFJ personality often comes from misunderstanding. Their quiet observation is mistaken for judgment. Their depth is mistaken for heaviness. Their boundaries are mistaken for coldness. In reality, INFJs feel deeply, care deeply, and often carry emotional weight for others. Their intensity is not about control. It is about sincerity. When people understand this, fear often turns into respect. The same traits that once felt intimidating begin to feel safe and grounding. The quiet strength behind the mystery. The INFJ personality remains one of the most fascinating personality types explained in modern psychology. Rare, complex, and deeply intuitive. INFJs move through the world with a blend of gentleness and inner strength that is hard to categorize. People may fear what they do not understand. They may feel exposed by insight, unsettled by silence, or challenged by emotional depth. But beneath all of this is a person who is usually trying to make the world a little more honest, compassionate, and meaningful. The INFJ does not seek power over others. Their power comes from within, from self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and unwavering values. And perhaps that is what truly startles people. Not loud authority, not dramatic control, but the quiet presence of someone who sees clearly, feels deeply, and cannot easily be fooled. In a noisy world, that kind of quiet awareness can feel almost otherworldly. And sometimes, what feels otherworldly is simply a different kind of strength.